Sam Herder of Hero Sports ranks Jackson State number 20 in their FCS preseason top 25. And we're going to read what he has to say about the Tigers heading into the 2023 season right after the bumper. Stay tuned. What is going on, everybody? What is going on, everybody? My name is JeffLightsyJr. This is the Victory Formation Sports Show right here on JeffLightsYJr, YouTube, Facebook, and wherever you get your content. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and notification bell because we're getting closer and closer and closer to the start of football season, and you all know that I cannot wait until that happens. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Hero Sports, Sam Herder of Hero Sports, put out their top 25 list at the beginning of June, and they ranked Jackson State number 20. They had North Carolina Central number 13, and FAMU wasn't on there. But let's see what Mr. Herder, Sam Herder that is, had to say about the Tigers and why he has them at number 20. Let's keep reading. It says returning FCS All-American players, one being punter Matt Knoll, who was all MEAC performer at Delaware State, and DJ Stevens, who was second team all SWAC. The top positional players in 2023 FCS rankings. You got a number 6 tight end in DJ Stevens, a number 5 safety, and Isaias Guthrie. The transfer portal. We know about the JSU transfer portal, a bunch of them to Colorado, Shane Hooks to Auburn, Kevin Coleman to Louisville, et cetera, et cetera. So we know all about that. Transfer portal lost to FCS teams. You've got Herman Smith and Barron Thompson, and Quay Davis to Texas Southern, Michael Pleasant, Trevante Rucker to UT Martin. So let's keep going. The players coming in, 16 FBS transfers. The biggest ones that most people are really looking forward to seeing are Seven McGee, running back from Oregon, running back hybrid wide receiver from Oregon, Jacobian Morgan, quarterback from Syracuse, obviously Jason Brown, quarterback from Virginia Tech. These are the people, Philip Webb, who folks expect to have big time seasons there at JSU that are coming from FBS programs. And then FCS programs, 13 FCS program transfers, including, like I said, Isaias Guthrie, Matt Knoll, both came from Delaware State. The big time players, Irv Mulligan from Wofford. These are the guys you expect to make plays this year. Let's read what he says about the roster outlook. JSU just returns 1 of 12 all SWAC performers from last year, tight end DJ Stevens. It loses its starting quarterback, top 3 rushers, top 4 pass catchers, and top 8 tacklers. The Tigers lost 19 transfers to the FBS and 9 transfers to FCS. TC Taylor and his staff have responded by hitting the portal hard themselves, bringing in 16 transfers from the FBS and 13 FCS transfers. Of the 38 participating players in the Celebration Bowl, 12 are back, including J.D. Martin, Rico Powers, Antonio Doyle, Jalen Hughes, and etc. And so along with those returners, JSU brought in 247 Sports' number 2 FCS recruiting class, counting high school recruits and college transfers. Some of those transfers include LSU linebacker Philip Webb, a 4-star out of high school, and Oregon State running back, wide receiver, just playmaker, Seven McGee, a 4-star out of high school. JSU has several 3-star high school recruits on the roster as well. The Tigers not only have brought in many Power 5 transfers who were highly recruited, but they have also landed FCS transfers who were impact players for their previous teams. That matters. That matters because it's one thing to get a guy that was a former 4-star. That can work. And I'm not going to say that worked, and sometimes it doesn't work. But bringing in guys specifically from the FCS level who have been able to impact their team, that matters. Let's keep reading. So Isaias Guthrie, a safety from Delaware State, was one of the best young FCS safeties in 2021, earning freshman All-American and first-team All-MEAC honors. Irv Mulligan, a running back at Wofford, averaged 6.9 carries in 2021, totaling 859 rushing yards and 8 touchdowns as an All-SoCon second-team selection. John Graves III, a defensive lineman from Southeast Louisiana, was a 2021 All-Honorable Mention, All-Southland Conference selection, and Matt Knowles, an All-American level punter from Delaware State. The talent is there. It's just a matter of who steps up into leading roles. All of the top production from last season is gone. Of course, the biggest position battle will be at quarterback. JSU has 5 quarterbacks on the roster, 3 of them which transferred in this offseason. Jason Brown's a grad transfer from Virginia Tech. Before Virginia Tech, he played at South Carolina in 2021, going 2-2 as a starter. Before that, he played at St. Francis, where he was a 2019 sophomore All-American, throwing for 3,000 yards and 28 touchdowns to only 6 interceptions. Zion McDonald, a redshirt sophomore from Louisiana Lafayette, saw minimal action in 2 seasons there, but as a high school recruit, McDonald was the number 38 pro-style quarterback in the country, according to 247 Sports. Grayson Thompson is a redshirt sophomore who spent the last 3 seasons at JSU after transferring from North Texas, and Jacobian Morgan is a redshirt sophomore transfer from Syracuse, who started 2 games as a true freshman in 2020, but didn't see much action since. He was a 3-star recruit in high school. And Philip Short is a junior transfer from Holmes Community College, who was a 2-star recruit out of high school. JSU has a very different looking roster than it did a year ago, but it remains as a talented roster. We'll learn much more about the team early, as the first 4 games will tell us a lot. South Carolina State beat JSU in the 2021 Celebration Bowl. FAMU is getting preseason top 25 love. JSU beat Southern 43-24 in last year's SWAC title game, and Texas State is an FBS opponent. And then they go on to show the schedule. So this is their preview. And it was a really good write-up by Sam Herder. Shout out to Sam Herder of Hero Sports. Great write-up on Jackson State. And it doesn't reveal any new information to us. It just tells us a lot what we already know. But it also shows us that the rest of the country, still respects the talent that JSU has. Like, you cannot not respect it. Now, that doesn't mean that they will automatically live up to expectations. But there are expectations, and there wouldn't be expectations if it wasn't talent. You can't have a ton of expectations, at least initially, if you're a non-JSU person, in TC Taylor, simply because he's never been a head coach before. But you can have expectations in talent. And so what this preseason ranking tells me is that the rest of the country, or national pundits and guys that cover FCS across the country, believe in the talent at JSU. When you bring in 16 FBS transfers, I don't care how many people you've lost. When you bring in 16 players from the FBS level to your program, some of them who have contributed at the FBS level, then you are a very talented team. And then you bring in another 13 FCS transfers, including multiple All-Americans at those FCS programs. Yeah, people are going to take notice. This JSU team, as we know, has a ton of questions, right? But what it doesn't have a question on is lack of talent. It's just about who steps up and how they put it together and how they're able to lead this group of young men. That will determine how good of a season they will have. And we will find out very, very early. As he said in the article, South Carolina State is not a soup sandwich. They are no walkover team. They're no team that you can just show up and beat. No, that's a real team. The next week you play FAMU. That's a real team. Coach Simmons is a real team. And then the next week you play your rival Southern. That's a real team. And then you finish that 4-game stretch with an FBS opponent, Texas State, who's been recruiting out the wazoo and is a real team. So, yeah, I like Herder's write-up. I'm interested to see. We're going to learn so much about this JSU team. We haven't even hit fall camp yet. Fall camp and the announcement of the starting quarterback, I think, is going to be a big story. Because, like he said, there are a number of quarterbacks. Jason Brown, who's been there for a long time and is kind of started off, I think, as the leader in the club. But I don't know if I would say he wasn't all the way convincing or what. But you go out and get a guy like Jacobian Morgan, who's uber talented, and he's from Mississippi. You don't make that move for Jacobian Morgan if you're 100% solidified and all the way dug in on Jason Brown. Or maybe you do, because Brown only has 1 year of college left. I don't know. I wouldn't go out and get a guy who could potentially start right now if I believed 100% in my guy. But Coach TC, Coach Maurice Harris, and the rest of those guys wanted to add more competition, wanted to add more depth, wanted to add more talent to that QB room. So they went out and got Jacobian Morgan. And so the announcement of that starter at the quarterback position is going to tell us a lot. It's going to tell us a lot, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But Sam Herder hit the nail on the head. This is a very talented roster. It's just about how the coaching staff lives up to expectations and who steps up to be able to make plays both on offense, specifically on offense, and even on defense for this 2023 JSU team. We're getting closer and closer and closer to football season. I cannot wait. This is going to be one of the best seasons the SWAC has ever seen. I just feel it in my bones. I just know it. It's going to be one of the best ever in the history of the SWAC. Leave your thoughts on the preview of Jackson State done by Hero Sports and Sam Herder. My name is Jeff Lightsy Jr. This is the Victor Formation Sports Show. Thank you all for tuning in. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button, like, share, and subscribe. And we're only like a week or two away from fall camp, where we will, some of these position battles at JSU and across the country, but specifically at JSU, will be determined, including that vicious quarterback battle between Morgan, Jason Brown, Phillip Short, Zion McDonald, and Grayson Thompson. My name is Jeff Lightsy Jr. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at JLightsy7. That is at JLightsy, the number 7. Hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe before you get out of here. I'll see you next time. Peace.